Hi there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Whole Home Show. I'm Tony Joe, your host here every week, bringing you tips, education, updates, and all home-related things, on home-related things. Whether you're in the real estate market or if you're looking for decorating or improvement ideas for your home, this is a great place to be. Our show comes to you with the support of our show partners. Denise Webster, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Center's Modern Mortgage Group. JP Sellas, insurance advisor at Westland Insurance. The Sitka Law Group for your real estate, wills and estates, corporate and personal injury needs, and Shoreline Inspections with Reese Jacob and Monica Gass. If you need help or direction in your real estate transaction, give any of the Whole Home Show team members a call. They would love to hear from you. I'm your host here every week. I've been selling real estate here in Greater Victoria since 1991. I have handled over 2,500 transactions in our fair city. I'm proud to be ranked as one of the top RE/MAX agents in Western Canada and internationally, and I would be pleased to help you as well too. You can find me and the rest of the Whole Home Show team members on the CFAX1070.com website. Look under shows. There you'll find us, the Whole Home Show with me, Tony Joe. All of their contact information is there, including, by the way, streaming episodes of our most recent episodes, where you can listen or tell your friends. Or if you need to find our show sponsors, just find me. Google Tony Joe Real Estate Victoria. The Prime Real Estate team is my group. Be happy to connect you. The real estate market is going crazy. We know numbers are up, but so is the home improvement market. Not only are people moving homes, but for many people, this has been the perfect time to start thinking about renovating or upgrading those areas that have been on their minds for a long time. Many have the plan to install their own IKEA kitchen, having popped over to Richmond or Coquitlam to make their selections and shop, along with their other furniture buys. But when they get their IKEA kitchen, who installs them? Today, we'll have on our show IKAN Installations. You've seen their vans driving around. IKAN. They are the IKEA installers, and our guest is owner Nathan Isbister, and also working alongside IKAN from Green Island Builders, Martin Skaya. So we're going to have a great conversation about what you can do to take this time, this period of time, to do some modifications, upgrades, things that you've always wanted to do. You will be surprised to hear how quickly you can have a new kitchen installed with these guys. And I think that's one of the big things, because there's nothing worse than living in a renovation in your home. So looking very much forward to having a conversation with both Nathan and Martin. We always have a listener story or question at the start of our show. And if you have a question or story that you'd like to tell us about real estate, call us. The hotline is 250-414-6540, 250-414-6540. Make sure you leave a message, or you can find us online, CFAX1070.com, and we'll discuss it on the air. Market remains busy. Inventory is down. Sales are up quite a bit. We're seeing a lot more of these bidding wars. Bidding wars, multiple offers, remains one of the hot topics out there. I am getting people, including listeners like you, asking how to win at bidding wars. Now, I know I feel like I cover this regularly. It's almost like once a month in the past few months here, just because of the nature of the way the market is right now. And I know I've covered this over the years too, but for those of you who haven't heard, this is always a very hot topic, because there's nothing worse than being a buyer and wanting to buy a home and finding out that you're competing with other people and not winning, especially if it's the one. What if it's the house that you've always wanted? Whatever it is, the location or the style that you always wanted. It is heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking to not get your home. So how do you tip the scales in your favor? I know a couple of weeks ago, I brought up a question that one of our listeners emailed me, RN, a regular and loyal listener, asking about the process of multiple offers. One of the things, of course, is that buyers, if you're a buyer, you don't get to see what the other offers are offering. It's basically a sealed offer process. Of course, is beneficial to the seller. The seller's the one that gets to see all of the offers and all of their attributes. By the way, it's not always just the price. You know, you might think the price will do it, but the other thing that you need to be able to do in order to tip the odds in your favor is to have as clean an offer as possible. Now, it is risky buying a house without the conditions that we're used to, for instance, subject to financing, subject to building inspection, subject to review of title, all of those normal conditions. But there are ways around that. So for instance, usually in a bidding war, there is a delayed offer process. So you have a few days between when you saw the house and you like it and when you have to offer, hopefully more than a few days, hopefully not over a weekend as well too. I still haven't figured out why realtors have showings on Friday, offers on Monday. It doesn't give buyers the chance to do their due diligence. So if you're looking at one of these properties and you're very, very interested, do yourself a favor and hire a building inspector to check out the house in advance. Call our friends at Shoreline Inspections, Reese and Monica. Get them to go by. I know that it's risky from the standpoint of you may not get the house. You may spend the few $100s on a building inspection and not end up getting the house. But what you're really doing is you're prepaying for a level of certainty. So get that building inspection done. It is also a show of strength to a seller when we, the agent working for the buyer, can say, hey, listen, my buyer went ahead and got a building inspection done. They've done their due diligence. This is a demonstration of how serious they are. The other one too is if you're looking at a strata, we would get the strata documents in advance. We can get a third party to review the strata documents just to make sure there's no glaring difficulties, things like the depreciation report, things like the contingency reserve fund. All of these items are typically well beyond the expertise of a consumer, of a buyer. So get somebody else to review them, get a lawyer to review them. You can do all that in advance. And then there's the price. So one of the things that your agent should be able to determine by asking the listing agent is how many other offers there are. Why is that an important piece of information to know? It's important because there is a pattern between the number of offers and how much above list price a property will sell for. So for instance, in the heydays, we saw properties that sold $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 over list price. They weren't just two offers competing. Normally, at that time it was 8 offers, 10, 20, we've heard 24, 30 offers on the same house. The more offers they are, typically the higher above list price the property will sell for. So it's a very handy piece of information to know how many other offers there are. It is to the seller's best interest and the seller's agent as well to announce how many offers as well too, because it will help the buyers increase and improve their offers. So you really need to set your line in the sand. And I had exactly that just last week with clients with a condo. They said, this is all I'm going to pay. And if somebody beats us by $1,000 or $2,000, we're fine. We can live with that. You've really got to have that deep internal conversation with yourself, because something that I used to hear, and I don't anymore because of the way we approach things nowadays. I used to hear people say, oh, it sold for that, I would have paid that. Well, really? Would you have? Why didn't you at the time? There's nothing worse than losing that dream house over $1,000 or $2,000. And that's why we'll see properties sell $10,000, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 over list price. Now, did you pay too much? That's always a big question. Don't forget, though, that when that sale happens, that's the new benchmark in that market. Other properties will rise to that price point as well, too. You may feel that you overpaid at the moment, but in an upwards moving market, it doesn't take long for the market to catch up. Always get advice from your realtor. Hopefully you're working with a professional real estate agent that has a lot of experience in dealing with multiple offers, because it is very much a skill that comes with experience. Thanks for that question, because it comes up all the time. And if you have a question you'd like on our show, just contact us. Need to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll be talking about installing your IKEA kitchen. Back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You're listening to the Whole Home Show, and I'm Tony Joe. It's been an interesting time recently because the market's not only busy, but people are really taking this opportunity, whether they are in self-isolation, realizing maybe that the home needs some things. Think about bigger jobs even, like a new kitchen. And what do? How do you install it? Where do you begin? Now, a lot of people have been, they look online, they have the old IKEA catalog, and they go, oh my goodness, that's some really cool stuff. But how do you get it over, and who puts it in for you? So today, our first guest is Nathan Isbister. He is with IKAN, and that's exactly what these guys do. Nathan, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you, Tony.
Great having you back, because you were here some time ago under a different iteration.
Absolutely.
Thrilled that you are the IKAN guy. So now, people have probably seen the vans. The van drives around with a big IKAN logo on it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have our vans for our installers, but we also have a fleet of smart cars that are nicely deckled up, and we get lots of compliments on those. So
amazing. Okay, so tell us, what is it that IKAN does?
So IKAN is, we're very proud to be work closely with IKEA. We've got a team of designers that essentially look after the design, that connect with the homeowner. That when we get calls in, they go through the design process and come to the creative side of our business, and they come to a final design for the owners. And then we also do the install. So we've got a team of installers that will come to your house and install and leave with a beautiful finished product.
Well, because of course, I would say most people do not have the skills. I mean, it might be a cool idea to, hey, let's get our stuff from IKEA, just like we do now when you pull out the tools and all that stuff. But a kitchen is a different animal, right?
It is. It can be very complex and very detailed. So we do get some calls. There's no question, quite a few calls from people that do attempt to tackle the IKEA kitchen themselves, and we get some.
But as in, like they're halfway through or something, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and there might be, there might be a little bit of strain on the marriage at that point. So we like to come in and support. But yeah, no, it is definitely a more complex. There's part of the install is there is a skill set that's needed, and we're proud to have a very strong team that can provide that support. So
yeah, and we're going to be chatting with Martin, who's a builder, in a few moments here, and he works alongside with you as well too. But the real point here is the IKEA kitchen or bathroom install. It's next level. It's not like just out of the box with the Allen key and you're good to go in the afternoon kind of thing, right?
No question. IKEA has done a fantastic job developing over the years their kitchen product. It's a very versatile product. It has a 25-year warranty on it, which is unheard of in the industry. So there's 25-year warranty on the product. So IKEA and IKAN both, we believe in the product, strongly, and the finished product speaks for itself. Yeah.
Well, it's one of these things where people go into the showroom and they see the finished product and it's like, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. But how do you get from A to B? So something that I learned from you just now was I did not realize that IKAN can also be involved in the design process.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a team currently of 6 designers right now, and they're very, very creative. They get to meet with you and get to learn, what your needs are. They're, what your style is, what style that, your home is, what you'd prefer. And then they also, they'll do all the design work, and it's a very collaborative process with the homeowners. And, typically there's an initial design and there's some back and forth with input. Our designers are very good listeners. So they really listen to what your needs are and what you're looking for. And at the end of the day, when that collaboration comes together, it's a beautiful process, and we end up with really, really functional very cool kitchens. So
this is a really important thing for listeners to know as well too, because it's one thing to see the kitchen in a show suite and go, oh, I like this. I like where the stove is. I like where the fridge is. And then people put it in. And I see it when we're looking at houses where you go, why did you position the fridge there? It doesn't make sense, especially when you're moving food out of the fridge to prepare and all the stuff. And this is where the designers, I'm guessing, come in, because they would figure that out, right?
For no question, the functionality of a kitchen, we believe, is just as important, if not more important, than the design. So it's always a factor that comes into play when the design is where the flow within a kitchen and how everything works and what's best for your family, right? So it's it can be a complex process, but it's also very rewarding when it's done properly and you have a very functional finished product.
And I'm guessing too that the designers would know the IKEA product as well too, because unlike a custom kitchen where people can have like odd cabinet sizes and stuff, they would be working with specific like box sizes and door sizes and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, they truly are IKEA experts, on product experts. They know the product very well. We also though I just would like to mention, we have the flexibility where we can also customize around in certain areas if one of an IKEA box doesn't fit, and so we do have a hybrid approach as well, where we have the IKEA product, but we can also do a little bit of customization as well to really secure the needs of the homeowner. So
amazing. Well, how long has IKAN been around now?
So we have been in business since 2011. So started out in 2011, and we've just had, great success since then, exponential growth, and things are going really well.
Okay, so let's talk about the process now. So somebody has seen the designer, has decided on it, signed off on the design of the kitchen.
Yes.
Typically, what's been the timeline?
So usually an average timeline from us start to finish is in that 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the time that the design is done and contract is signed. Then it's about a 6 to 8 week process. We at that point, IKEA obviously during our current times is extremely busy right now. They've been really good at keeping product in, but we're seeing a little bit longer lead times from them. So, but we will go over, we purchase, we do inventory of product. We make sure that we get everything that is needed for the kitchen. Then we bring it in, and then we have an assembly warehouse. So we essentially put, a large portion of your kitchen together in an assembly warehouse. And then the day of install, when we come in, we're typically, our average kitchen, we're in and out of the home in roughly about 3 days. So amazing. It's a very quick turnaround. We do a lot of the box assembly and as much assembly as we can off-site. So when our team is in your home, we try and impact the home at least amount as possible.
Well, especially under COVID time, you want to minimize the interruption, right?
100%. So we're when the product shows up, it's as much assembly as we can do. For sure.
So now is the product typically stored in Richmond or Coquitlam, or do a lot of these things need to come from elsewhere?
Well, typically the products, once they're in either Richmond or the Coquitlam store, essentially, unless they're on back order, and then we bring them in ahead of time and make sure that all the pieces are there that's needed, because there is, if there's anything, every piece is integral into the kitchen. So if there's anything missing when we order, then we have some time to make sure that all inventory is there and do assembly. So when we get into your home, when we leave, it's a finished product.
We're going to take a break in just a moment here. We're going to need to pick up after the break, because countertops is something that we're going to need to talk about. But so we'll save that for after the break. But for listeners here who are interested in IKEA install and IKAN, what's the best way for people to reach you?
The best way for people to reach us is you can check on our website. We have lots of contact forms on our website. You can give us a call at 250-380-7303. And at, either one of those two ways is a great way to connect with our team.
Yeah, and IKAN is IKAN, right? IKAN.
Absolutely. Where our showroom is located right in the heart of Cook Street Village. We have a beautiful spot at 314 Cook Street.
Fantastic. Oh, great, Nathan. Well, don't go anywhere because we still need you. So we're going to pick up this conversation. And for anyone who's thinking about doing some renovations and are thinking that having a cool IKEA kitchen or bathroom inside of 6-8 weeks, like you're talking about, is an option, reach out to Nathan Isbister at IKAN. But we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be picking up this discussion and bringing in Martin Skaya from Green Island Builders to talk more about installations. Back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You're listening to another episode of The Whole Home Show. I'm Tony Joe, and our show comes to you every week with the support of our show partners. Denise Webster, mortgage broker with Dominion Lending Center's Modern Mortgage Group. JP Sellas, insurance advisor at Westland Insurance. The Sitka Law Group for your real estate, wills and estates, corporate and personal injury needs. And Shoreline Inspections with Reese Jacob and Monica Gass. If you need help or direction in your real estate transaction, give any of the Whole Home Show team members a call. They would love to hear from you. You can find their contact information on CFAX1070.com. Look under shows. There you'll find us, The Whole Home Show with me, Tony Joe, or reach out to me. Find me, just Google me, Tony Joe, Victoria Real Estate, and I will make the connection. As a reminder, if you're a podcast listener, we do podcast our episodes on iTunes or Google Play, so you can find this or all the other 173 episodes that we've done, talking about some great content. But of course, today we're talking about home modifications, renovating your house, and how you can get yourself a brand new kitchen affordably. And of course, with all of the fantastic IKEA design features. And how do you do that? You do that with IKAN installations. And our guest that we were talking with before the break, Nathan Isbister. Nathan, again, thanks again for coming back.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about design. You've got a design team that puts together design. It's great because, like, do people often get IKEA appliances too? Because I know they do appliances.
Absolutely, yeah. So IKEA obviously has a tremendous amount of product in their catalog. So at that point, if there is interest for more IKEA appliances or any other, the IKEA is known for their knickknacks and their product around organization. We can assemble those as well into our design. So those all IKEA products are available through the process as well.
Well, and this is how we know when it's an IKEA kitchen, because when you open up the drawer and there's all these nifty, not just a cutlery tray, like they do things very differently. Their design senses very differently, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're very good at decluttering and keeping things clean.
Yes. Swedish for common sense.
That's right.
Right. But, again, we kind of can identify an IKEA kitchen when we go into a home. And by the way, that is not a judgment, right? That's not a bad thing, because IKEA kitchens can be very cool. Yeah. Now, before the break, one of the things that I experienced when I did a kitchen renovation 13 years ago was the whole notion about countertops and having to template up. And my counters alone at the time took 9 weeks to get.
Yes, that's right.
So how does that work with IKEA kitchens and IKAN installation?
So, as part of the design process, the countertops are a very important part of finishing in the design and functionality of the kitchen. So we offer that service as well. If you come into our showroom, we have, a beautiful selection of all different types of countertops, depending on
laminate or hard surfaces, whatever, right?
100%. Yeah. We have an incredible selection of designs depending on budget. And for us, we order and supply the countertops as well through that process. So typically, once the cupboards are installed, then we do the template, and at that time, depending on the type of countertop that's chosen, the lead times could be a little bit different. But we see lead times anywhere from a few weeks up to about 6 weeks, depending on the product.
God, it's important for listeners to know, and I learned this when I went through the process as well too, because I thought, I'm like, well, if the cabinet design exists, why can't you just order the counters at the same time and just kind of fit them all in the same time? But that's not how it works.
No, it's true, because there, especially when we get into some of the older homes, when we're in homes that and walls potentially may not be square, or there could be things that we have to we have to work through during the cabinet install. The final measure for the template for the countertop is very critical to make sure that we're precise on the product when it arrives, and it fits perfectly onto the kitchen
And that's
cabinet.
why the cabinets have to be in place
Yes,
relative to the walls and everything before that measurement takes place, right?
100%. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And we've been talking about kitchens, but you do bathrooms too, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we do bathroom vanities. We do, obviously countertops and bathrooms. IKEA has a huge selection of bathroom products as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's typically on quite a few of our orders, we have kitchen and bath combined, and our designers work obviously with the homeowner on both.
So really, if somebody's thinking about doing upgrades right now,
Yeah.
they could conceivably have themselves a new kitchen and bath. They call you today, and then
Yes.
they could have a new kitchen and bath in like 8-9 weeks or whatever, right?
Yes, absolutely. Depending
Oh my
on,
goodness.
yeah, depending on the design, the length of design, and but yeah, that is absolutely, that's accurate.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, there's other great businesses out there, and you can do custom work and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people right now are being faced with the 4, 5, 6 month kind of lead time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there is some, we're getting feedback from the market because it is busy right now, that yeah, some of the lead times are into the new year. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. Now, something that I have to say, and actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get Martin in right now as well too. We want to talk to Martin a little bit here. Martin is with Green Island Builders, and you guys do a fair amount of work together, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Martin, welcome. Thanks for joining us on the show here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Tony.
Yeah. So how do you guys work together? Because you guys obviously do a lot of projects together, right?
Yeah. So a lot of times when somebody decides to uh, start with a kitchen renovation, they call us first, and that's wonderful. We go out and we meet with our design team, meets with the homeowner in home, and in a lot of instances, there's more than just the kitchen. They want a wall removed. They want maybe some fixtures moved. There could be a tremendous more scope than just the kitchen. And in those situations, we've developed a wonderful relationship with Martin and his team, and then we'll recommend to call Martin to come in and do everything outside of the scope, our scope. So our teams work really well together, yeah, Martin is just wonderful to deal with.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying, what Nathan is saying, Martin, is that the kitchen rental is kind of like the gateway that opens up a whole bunch of other things that people want, right?
Yeah, for sure. The kitchen is the gateway. I mean, the kitchen is the most important part of the house, I think, but it often leads to other parts of the house, like the bathroom that IKAN does as well, and bedrooms. And so we work really closely with IKAN, and we have a great relationship with them, which I think is critical to the tight timelines that Nathan is with the 6 to 8 week timeline. So for us as a builder, we're able to take on a number of different projects with IKAN and have really tight turnarounds just because of the great communication and relationship we have with them.
Yeah, and I'm sure it helps to know the product and know the process as well too, and because there's so many moving parts. Nathan and his team are installing that kitchen or bathroom, and then you, of course, Martin, you got to line up other like the additional ancillary stuff to make that all happen, right?
Yeah, we have our own sub-trades that we use: the plumbers, the electricians, the drywallers, the HVAC, flooring, tile setters, painters. In a kitchen, there may be as many as 20 different people working in a kitchen. It gets pretty intense, plus the cabinet installers, the designers, all of that. So it's quite a complex process, to be able to orchestrate all of this together in a tight timeline, I think is is really what we work towards. And working with IKAN is a great partnership, I think.
Amazing. Well, listen, we need to take another quick break. We're going to get you back as well. But Martin, give the listeners your contact information if they need to reach you.
Yeah, phone number is 250-812-9743, or you can just Google us, Green Island Builders in Victoria.
Fantastic. And again, Nathan, contact information for IKAN?
Yeah, so it's just ikaninstallations.com. Our website has all our contact info, and our phone number is 250-380-7308.
Right.
Sorry, 7303.
7303. Okay. And that's IKAN, IKAN.
That's right.
Great. Perfect. All right. Well, listen, gentlemen, hang tight because we need to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll pick up our conversation back in just a moment. Thanks for coming back. You're listening to The Whole Home Show, and I'm Tony Joe. Just as a reminder, if you are a podcast listener, download all of our episodes on iTunes or Google Play, or visit CFAX1070.com. Look under shows, weekends, obviously. There you can hear streaming our most recent episodes. We're talking today about modifying your home. Is it time for you to maybe redo your kitchen, redo your bathroom? Is it time to install a suite? Well, we got the right people on air for you today, because we're talking with Nathan Isbister. He's with IKAN. Those are the guys whose vans you see driving around, smart cars too. You see them driving around. They are the IKEA specialists. And then with him today is Martin Skaya. He's with Green Island Builders. Together, they will work on improving your home in a reasonable timeline, which is kind of difficult in today's marketplace. So gentlemen, thanks again for coming back.
Thank you.
Yeah. And of course, Martin, I should say, you do things, I mean, you work with Nathan at IKAN, but obviously you guys do other things as well too, right? So it's a busy time for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, we can take an entire structure and gut it and re-engineer it and redo it, or we can make a house bigger. We provide design services for architectural plans. We can do engineering mock-ups, permit submissions, and take care of an entire house project. Yeah.
Fantastic. It's an interesting time though, right? Because finding product, I understand, has been difficult during COVID time.
Yeah, finding it really is the sort of the clincher in the operation is the suppliers. I mean, even now we're still having difficulties finding anything coming out of the United States. So we spend a lot of time pre-ordering stuff so that it's there when we need it. So
planning in advance is helpful.
Yeah, we have to be really proactive with that. And now we have, lumber prices have increased about 50% since March.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I remember there was an increase. It continues this increase. People often wonder, they go, why is it so expensive to build? And there are reasons: the cost of product, the cost of labor, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah. And I think, that's where renovations make sense, when you can just take an existing space and redesign it and recreate it. You can cut down on a lot of those lumber costs and startup costs with a new build. And just keep the structure.
Yeah, well, and actually, thanks for bringing that up too. So switching back to Nathan here and IKAN, when we're talking about an IKEA kitchen, that's not just for a renovation. You guys can easily install in a new property as well too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a large percentage of our business that is in new home, either infill or new builds. We work with, during the design stage, we work with engineers and architects to design the kitchen, and we do install in new homes as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. It's again, it's an interesting time because people have been at home. They've decided that it's time to upgrade those things that have been bugging them. And people are becoming more handy too. Like they're wanting to go out and do things, but there are certain things that they can't do themselves. I kind of laugh at the story you were telling earlier, Nathan, about bailing out people who have tried and failed. I've seen those failed installations, by the way. You can tell when you go into a house and somebody has done it themselves. Like doors don't line up, cabinets don't line up. Like there is some craftsmanship that is required in installation, right?
Absolutely. And yeah, we do get those calls, and we're fortunate enough. We have some really skilled, you know, carpenters in our field and installers that can come in and take, you know, a job that's halfway done, or there may be some issues on, and make it look professionally installed when they leave. So we're very fortunate to have a strong team.
Well, and for the two of you guys, I mean, I've seen pictures and I've heard stories, you know, where those kitchen uppers, which are full of weight, like plates and all that kind of stuff, where somebody hasn't anchored them in correctly to the studs. So usually in the middle of the night, it comes crashing down and basically destroys not only the stuff inside, but their kitchen as well, right? Yeah. Or those situations where people are drilling their boxes, their lower boxes in, not realizing that there's plumbing in behind. So you hit plumbing lines and stuff. These are things that you need experts like IKAN and Green Island Builders to come in and make sure that they're done correctly, right? Yeah. We all have favorite installs and favorite examples. What are some great examples both of you guys can bring up that you've done locally in town here?
Yeah, we've got lots of beautiful examples of finished product. Actually, we're currently working on a project with Martin right now in the Uplands, and we're doing a full custom, just beautiful kitchen that I think is scheduled to be completed this week. So yeah, we've got lots of great examples on our website, and you know, Martin has multiple projects where we've done some really creative, beautiful stuff.
As you're talking about that, is IKAN exclusively using IKEA products? You did say that you do some custom stuff as well too.
Yes,
so,
that is correct. We do, the majority of our workload is IKEA, but we have the ability we have a custom supplier as well. So we can do a hybrid approach where we use IKEA boxes and IKEA hardware, and then we can put custom fronts on if we have a client that is really, you know, sees something on, you know, in a magazine, or, you know, really wants something specific, then we have the ability to make that happen as well. So
fantastic. Something I'm sure you're seeing, Martin, is there appears to be a lot more movement towards the suites, adding suites, installing, you know, more living space in people's houses right now. Instead of selling or moving, it's another great example for them, right? Or another great option for them.
Oh, I think absolutely. Having a basement suite in your house or a garden suite is, you know, really what makes living in this town affordable for most people. I think it's a great option. You know, I think what we do really well is we are able to come in and reimagine space, like use space really efficiently, and create a suite or create a different room or combine a room or just rejig an existing house. I think that's really one of the things that we do well. Yeah.
I always say that that's one of the most important things, because, you know, people, they have their own great ideas. It's like, let's put a door here, you know, let's move this here, without thinking about the mechanics. You know, is there a conduit there? Is there plumbing there? And they really need someone like you who looks forward a couple of steps. And like you just mentioned, like design and flow is so important, because this is what you do, right? And we see in a lot of cases of houses, you know, where we go, why did they do this? Well, it's because it was a weekend job, you know, home handyman, warrior. It's the classic hatchet job. And getting an expert like you, I think, is really important.
Yeah, I think, you know, we're able to go into some of these older homes in the city and, you know, get a good grip on what the existing structure is. And, you know, if we can redesign a space without having to do major structural changes or major service changes, then that will keep the cost of a project down. And that's some of the things that we're looking at doing in any renovation, really.
Yeah. Oh, it's not just the cost too, but often it's the time. It can make the difference between a 2-month and a 10-month, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, Nathan was talking about, quick, which I think is a quick install time for a kitchen. People often forget. I mean, they have this notion that the renovation, it's going to be great because we have a new kitchen. Living in the midst of a renovation and having your kitchen pulled out, and me having cardboard countertops for 9 weeks, that was not a fun time, right? So living in a renovation is not exactly fun. Having a tight timeline, I'm going to say, is a big, big bonus.
Absolutely. Yeah, it sure helps. It sure helps our client base, because a lot of our customers do live through the renovations. So we try and minimize that time frame as much as possible, and minimize our impact in the home. Is so like I said before, our average turnaround in and out, we do most of the assembly offsite. We're in and out and on an average kitchen in 3 days. So it's a quick turnaround. We focus on being in the least amount of impact on a home, for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure most listeners know, but perhaps some don't. I mean, one of the cool things about what IKEA has to offer is it's not just the cabinets and even the appliances that we talked about, but fixtures as well too, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. They have a huge line of fixtures that, some really cool, innovative product out there, from from faucets to sinks to lighting. IKEA is, their engineering and their forward thinking is, they bring some really cool product to market.
Yeah. So most definitely another option. You guys, so looking ahead here over the course of the next few months, I'm going to guess you guys are going to say that it's busy, and it looks like the market for home renovations is just going to continue to plug away, right?
Yeah. We are extremely busy right now, but I think given how efficient, with kitchens, with IKAN, given how efficient everything runs, we definitely have capacity to take on with tight turnaround times, tight timelines.
Well, because this is how you guys function, so you know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And remind our listeners, Martin, how can people get in touch with you?
You can Google us on the web, Green Island Builders in Victoria. Look at the website. We also have an Instagram account at Green Island Builders, or you can give us a call at 250-812-9743.
Great. And Nathan at IKAN.
That's right. Yeah, you can check out our website at ikaninstallations.com, or give us a call on our phone at 250-380-7303.
Yeah. Wow. It's such a great option, like the IKEA products, as we said many times before. When we're going to a house, we can identify them, but it's not just for starters. I mean, you guys just mentioned the house in the uplands, so all levels. The quality is great, the features are great, and anyone thinking about building a suite or renovating their kitchen, now's the time, and Nathan and Martin are the guys to do that. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. So to our listeners, make sure you look these guys up. Plan ahead, by the way, because just like Martin was saying, you got to plan ahead. Things take a little bit of time, but these guys will make it quicker. And thank you for listening this week. I'll be here for you this time next week. Bye now.